So when you move from pure marksmanship to managing recoil, it's a good time to think about balancing those two. And I'm here with Chase in the Mantis booth at SHOT Show, and today's Dry Fire Monday is going to be running the time benchmark to balance how much steadiness I get in the muzzle with how fast I move the trigger. If you're frustrated with your shooting and your shooting performance, you need the Mantis X to help you to get to the next level of skills. It's definitely helped me. All right, so once again, Chase, let's talk about your kind of shooting bona fides. You told me last week you're not a big time shooter.
No, casual shooter, probably make it to the range a couple times a year.
Okay.
But I do train a lot on the Mantis X system, at home, at my desk, while we're working on the product. So.
All the dudes in the shop, they use the system.
Yeah, we use it. I mean, and we're out here at shows all the time too, which is great time, because normally at home I'm just doing dry practice. When we come out to the shows, we get to use the CO2 guns a little bit, mixes things up, makes it a little bit more difficult.
Makes it more difficult, makes you think about it. So we're gonna run a drill today, the timed benchmark. The time benchmark does something different than the standard benchmark. Standard benchmark is take your time, get 10 of the very best shots that you possibly can. However, that's not real defensive shooting, right? It's never gonna be bang, let me get everything right, bang. No, when that gun comes out, you're gonna have to go to work. And what this does is it's 5 quick shots. So we've devised us a little bit of a, shall we say, a competition. And what that competition is gonna do is this. When the unit goes go, we're gonna do 5 of the best shots that we can, and then we're going to see a combination of a score and a time. And here's how we're gonna score it between the two of us. We're gonna take our raw score, we're going to take our time, multiply it by 10, and subtract it from the score. Highest score wins. And I think the winner, we'll figure out what the winner wins. Winner wins props on the interwebs.
All right, cool.
All right, you wanna go first or you wanna go second?
I'll go second.
All right, so I'm gonna go first. All right, so what we're gonna do is this. Here's when we're gonna really have to grip this gun like it stole something from us, right? Remember, this is a Cool Fire equipped VP9, so this is not a real gun. It's got a CO2 barrel in it and a laser beam. But this is what we have to do. I really have to grip this gun. And remember, when I want to control recoil, I've said this many times to you, I want to grip down here as low as I possibly can on the pistol. So I want my hand up as high as I possibly can to control the muzzle flip and the torque, and then I want to grip with my pinkies as hard as I can. So straight back, front to rear with the dominant hand, side to side as hard as I can without shaking the tar out of the gun with my support hand. And then I want to move this trigger as fast as I can see my sights and get the kind of sight picture that I want. So we're trying to balance speed and accuracy here. I'll go first. It's an actual working booth at SHOT Show, so you're gonna see crazy stuff. Now, the weight on this one, I should kind of have a magazine in it, but I'm not gonna. All right, so here we are. I am ready to go. So we're gonna see, and he thinks he can beat me on this one, and I think he can. Let's see if he can do it. Okay, so I ran 55 flat, which is not, again, fantastic, but I am running the gun as fast as I can see the front sight. So you notice here, first shot was fantastic because I just reacted to the beep and it was nice and steady. But then, again, right in the 50s on there. So, can I do better? We'll find out. But here's one of the things I want to see. I'm going to climb over here and recognize I am pushing left and low, which does happen for me. First shot very high and then pretty consistent from there, and we see a lot more movement on those last shots. And in that last 150 milliseconds, I am pressing low and left, so I got something to work on here. I'm going to let Chase do his, and then I'm going to do it again so that I can work on what I need to work on here. You're up, my friend. All right, so he definitely beat me on this one because 82.9 in 2.47 seconds. So he's about high 50s, and I am down here around 35. Let me try it again. So what and what I saw myself doing here is I am definitely pressing low and left. I'm gonna work on a straight to the rear trigger press.
There you go.
So that was a little bit better. So I ended up with an 86.7 in a time of 2.21 seconds. Now, let me tell you, this is why this drill is important, because the first one I did, and I didn't practice this beforehand, is that what I saw is that I was gripping my whole hand with the first ones, and I was able to see that using the unit. And then the second time I said, John, press the trigger straight to the rear. And guess what? My scores went up. My time went up a little bit too because I took my time to do that. So that's a little bit better. It still said you beat me, man. Well done.
Thank you.
So how are you going to work on this at home? Well, you can do this a couple ways. For this kind of drill, you're either going to do this live fire, so you do it out on the range. And what are you trying to do? You're trying to get fast shots, but with an acceptable level of accuracy. So if you didn't have a Mantis unit, what you're going to do is you're going to go to that range, you're going to establish a pattern of activity, so maybe it's a 6-inch or an 8-inch circle, and you're going to go, look, I'm going to try to put every shot in there as fast as I can put it in there. If you did have a Mantis, you can run this with CO2 guns, you can run this with the live fire guns, you can run in dry fire similarly, but you really might have a hard time pressing quite so many if your trigger doesn't reset. If you have a double action gun, you can do this in dry fire. If you're a striker fire gun or something, probably a little bit harder. But what your goal is here, get a good grip on the gun, press the trigger straight to the rear 5 times as fast as you can, because in a defensive context, you may need to do that. So this week, I want you to do that 10 times, so 2 repetitions every day for the next 5 days, and it'll make you a better shooter. Chase, thanks for being on, man. Appreciate you. Takes a lot of guts, man.
Thank you.